So the summary, the movie started in some casino in Macau, and there's one girl there who was followed by the camera, particularly Beth and, well, some other side characters. So from that casino, well, nag-uwi sila from their different places. I think they're travelers. Beth is a traveler and the other are the workers who contracted the virus. So from there where they got the virus, they spread it when they got out of that country, China. So following the camera, these people are like showing signs and symptoms that they got something, they got the virus. So it was shown that they are having a fever, they're like coughing because there's trouble in their respiratory system. Eventually they died. So after they died, this character Beth got an autopsy because her husband wanted to know why he died. And after the autopsy, di nalaman na they are that they have a novel coronavirus that is running, but the CDC or whoever got this information, hindi pa nila na-tell sa masa public. Ayun, madami nang na-infect. And then, since wala nga pang nagtatel, since there are nobody from the intelligence that is telling the people, there are already conspiracy theories in the internet. Sinasabi nila na ito nga, we have something that's killing the people. When the situation is getting out of hand, like ang dami na na-infect, ang dami na namamatay, hindi ay kailangan na nilang sabihin. So they have this scientific measures na naging parang normal, like isolation, quarantine, and contact tracing. So ayan, nag-start na ang mga contact tracing, and then these workers who are like contact tracing or doing all the stuffs in the field, while others are staying home so that they won't contract the virus. Some of these frontliners already are contracting the virus, like Dr. Mears. Dr. Mears contracted the virus, and well, she died in the movie. So in the latter part of the movie, they also have this collapsing social order when they depict the people who are fighting for food, fighting for some false medicine that came from this blogger. The conspiracy theories that Forsythia is like the cure to this virus, even though it's not. So the order is collapsing. There are rallies because CDC won't tell the truth, something like that. And then in the near ending of the movie, they got Dr. Hextall. Dr. Hextall formulated the vaccine. So she has undergone so many trials, and she injected it to herself when her father was like a medical practitioner, and her father contracted the virus. And well, I think she just wanted to be beside her father, and injecting the vaccine that she tested, well, she made it a success because she was not infected by her father when she came to her. So that is when the story ends, because well, her vaccine was manufactured around the world, and well, the vaccine is the cure. So that's all. Number 2 is identify the infection, if it is a bacteria, virus, parasite that was introduced in the film. So in this film, Contagion, we have here a pandemic that is caused by a virus. This virus is known in the film as a MEV1. It affects the, oh my god. This virus affects the respiratory system and the central nervous system. What is the origin of the virus, its mode of transmission, and its signs and symptoms, if any? MEV1 virus contains a strain of a bat and a pig. DNA, genetic material, came from a bat and a pig. Well, geographically it came from China. I think it's from Macau, from a pig farm, and where, well, the pigs got it from the bat. So that's the origin. And what is the mode of transmission? Well, the mode of transmission, since it's a respiratory type of disease, well, you have there spread by respiratory droplets and fomites. So what are the signs and symptoms? In the movie, I saw there severe headache and fever. Your body particularly has a measure about temperature about 101 degree Fahrenheit, and you also have difficulty in swallowing. So the next question is, what was the effect of the virus to the community, country, world? So I have 4 bullets here. I have here the shutdown of the countries. Well, the shutdown of the country, what I'm saying is that you have travel bans, and there are closeness of transaction between countries. So the next bullet is scientific approaches in dealing with the novel virus. So as of what I have said, you began to have a new normal. You have quarantine, isolation, the social distancing, and the contact tracing. Well, that is the new normal, because this novel virus, well, a characteristic of a novel virus is that it is not known. So if it is not known, there is no cure. If you don't have a cure, you can, well, go outside and be infected, because you're going to die, because you don't have a cure yet. So the key to not get infected is just to stay at home, and to separate those who are infected with not infected, or something like that, social distancing. The next bullet I have is mass panic. So mass panic has brought effects to the world, because, well, particularly in the movie, you have their unmaintainable social order. I mean, they are collapsing because you have their scarce of food, this the movie depicts the scores of food. There are rallies, and there are some like suppression of information coming from the CDC itself. They're supposed to tell the truth about this pandemic, but in the movie it looks like they are not doing it. So the mass panic brought them people going outside. If you're doing a rally, you're going outside. So if you're outside, you're spreading the virus. So that is not really helpful. And I have here the last bullet: decrease in population. So well, it largely affect the world because this pandemic brought us unprecedented number of hospitalization and dead bodies, overwhelming the hospitals. So the hospitals are forced to like not doing the traditional funeral. They're just putting the bodies in a body bag and then dump them into some pit. Decrease in population largely affects the world because in the movie, the pandemic, this virus has a mortality rate of like 20 to 30%, which is, well, so large that I think it has killed millions. That millions of decrease in the world population is like struggle to get it back on, the world to get back on. What are the countermeasures that they use to contain the spread of the virus? Closing down of schools, businesses, closing down of roads and the country's borders. And they also have quarantine, isolation, and they also have contact tracing in the movie. Compare the scenario from the movie with the current pandemic, with our current pandemic, COVID-19. So the genetic material of the virus, the MEV1 in the Contagion, is like having strand of bat genetic material. So our COVID-19 also have that. So COVID-19 and MEV1 both have the genetic material of a bat. And the nature of the virus, well, the nature of the virus is it's a respiratory disease. It is affecting the respiratory system of the human body. The place it originated, it both came from the Asia and it came from the China. Well, MEV1 in the Contagion movie came from Macau, which is located also in China, and COVID-19 came from Wuhan, which is from China in Asia. So I have here a bullet of a measure of containing the virus. Well, it is super comparable because in the movie Contagion, you have their quarantine, isolation, and contact tracing, which is widely depicted in the movie, and what we in COVID-19 we also have this, and we also have this type of social distancing here, though it is not well depicted there, but I think they also have this measures. We also have this the borders closed and schools and works are out. They're out, both out. So it is comparable. I think, and also for me, in the movie I have here information literacy, because well, in the movie you have there, I stated in the summary that they have this conspiracy theorist in the movie. Well, here in the COVID-19 we have lots of like conspiracy theorists. Information literacy is a must too. well, to stay in good health, because there are like yung mga hindi proven na medicine na ini-state sa media. You're taking those and you're spreading this untested drugs, or basta if you spread this fake news. You have this word, this term, fake news. Information literacy is a must, because fake news will really put you in danger. In the movie Contagion, Yang Mev 1, the conspiracy theorist is telling that forsythia is a cure, but no, it is not, and it is putting people in danger because they are like outside, they're rampaging to the pharmacy. And here in the COVID-19, we have other fake news that are fake news na kalat dyan sa Facebook or some website, na yung mga people ay hindi chine-check ang facts. Well, some people don't have this information literacy, so I mean, they both lack one. So frontliners contracting the virus, so I think that we have saw it in common. They're so comparable because in the movie it depicts that the Dr. Hextall's father contracted the virus in his practice, and we also have here our frontliners in the news. They are dying because they contracted the virus from their work. So it's super comparable. And we have the scars of essentials, particular food in the news. Here in COVID-19, ang daming nagugutom. Hindi sila nadadala ng food. Some na yung far away sa city, or those are far away, and sa movie, yung naubusan na yung truck ng food, delivery for food. So, well, I think it's very comparable. So, for the last question for this video reaction we have here, based from the film that you have watched, what method, theory, practice can we adopt and use for the current COVID-19? So, this movie was released in 2011, and we have here COVID-19 2020. And in the movie, what I really liked for us to adopt is that, that scene, that tiny scene where this Dr. Hextall came to her father, who wanted to like give him a hug because, well, as a medical practitioner, her father contracted the virus in his practice. So, well, as of my answer, I have here dedication of the frontliners, and I have this phrase here that I made up: passion of the medical workers to their work for treating the sick and finding a cure at the cost of their lives. Well, really takes enough courage to face the this virus that doesn't have a cure yet, because once you contracted it, you can die, and dying is a really big deal. So at this current COVID-19, well, I salute those frontliners that we have here, especially, well, as a medtech student, those who are in the hospital, the doctors, the nurses, the medtechs in the laboratory. Well, I hope that we're all safe, and thank you for keeping us safe, those frontliners, because, well, I think we can really adapt this, and I think it, yeah, we are already adapting it, even though not everyone have watched this movie, but well, you can learn from the movie. Having this dedicated health workers can really cure us, can cure the world. So I salute you all, and thank you. Keep safe.